Hey, Men and Warriors. Today we're going to be talking about how to start strength training when you're stuck. When you know you should do it, you really should, but you're stuck in that rut. I was there not long ago myself. I had about 6 weeks off from my strength training workouts, which is the first time in literally years that I've had a sort of gap in between doing various workouts. And it was largely down to being super stressed, really, really stressed, probably not far off the adrenal fatigue mark, and also incredibly busy, and also using those as excuses. So just as a caveat, if you have adrenal fatigue, it is not a medically recognized term, but if you are literally hanging on by a split fingernail, just take time off. Let your body heal. You don't need that much time off. You don't need 6 weeks off. You probably need 1 to 2 weeks in order to allow your adrenals to heal enough. I have got other adrenal fatigue videos on this channel, so take a look at those if you want to learn a bit more about that. But for the vast majority of us, we know we need to strength train. We need to strength train to avoid osteoporosis, which is brittle bone disease. We need to strength train to keep healthy joints, to keep our metabolism boosted, to help prevent that midlife weight gain, and to just keep you feeling confident and just healthier and happier, boost that self-esteem a bit. And it makes the biggest difference. So I've been holding off myself. And the reason why I wanted to share this video today specifically is because I've been going through all the same things that I guess you do too. It's just like, but if I start today, that means I've now got to show up every day for the next however many months, years, etc. And ideally, yes, that's exactly what we want to do. But do you know what I did? I decided I was not going to wait for a Monday. I just started. So just start on whichever day of the week you're feeling like you might want to start. And I did the workout. I felt great afterwards, so I did another workout. So the first one was very much strength training. The second one was a short, very low impact cardio sort of booster. And I'm looking forward to the next one tomorrow. And I will continue now probably for very many years ahead too. The thing I want to break this down for you is that when we're looking at the entire journey, we get overwhelmed, understandably so, because it's just like, I've got to start to eat healthier. I need to restrict this. I need to add in that. I need to do strength training for the rest of my life until I die. I haven't got weights. I don't know what weights to use. I don't know whether to go to the gym, stream a workout program, just do it at home or work it out myself. I know it's overwhelming. So I'm going to break it down into bite-sized, easy to understand chunks today. There is going to be absolutely no taking out. We're going to be adding in a few healthy things. And I also have a freebie. It's only a time limited freebie because at some point soon I'm going to be adding it into my Etsy store, which I haven't quite yet launched. But for the moment, it's free. So if you want to get it, go grab it. It is a template that explains a few of the brief things I'm going to go over today, but also helps you track how you're feeling. It's sort of like a little bit of a journal area before you actually start your strength training journey, and the things that you want to focus on. For me, for instance, I was starting to feel just less toned. I started to feel a little bit flabby. I do feel a bit flabby around my middle, and I want to get rid of that. I want to get back to feeling strong, fit, athletic, and also just know that I'm doing what I need to do to myself. Because when we know we're avoiding the thing that we need to do, it just niggles away. And strength training, whether you love it or hate it, it is, if you want to be healthy in your second life and keep a healthy weight and enjoy longevity and positive mental health and strong bones and strong muscles, it is an absolute necessity for you. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about crepey skin and wrinkly skin that we get as we get older. Of course, as we get older, things move southwards. That's the natural core. That is what happens. We get more wrinkles. No matter what you do, you will get more wrinkles. Your skin will get more crepey. You might think it's cellulite. It might be a little bit of cellulite. It's largely like to be the dimpling down to the fact that your muscles are atrophying, because as estrogen falls, cortisol rises. Cortisol is one of our stress hormones. Cortisol has a catabolic effect on our bones and our muscles and our skin, our elastin, etc., which is why, so catabolic means it breaks it down, which is why we become more decrepit more rapidly as we get older through menopause. And strength training is going to help you significantly slow down that effect or even reverse it. No matter where you're at right now, you can start strength training. Even if you've never lifted a weight or done a day of exercise in your life and you're thinking, I really need to get started, but I absolutely have no idea and I'm afraid and I just don't even know if I want to commit to it. Today's video will help you get started, and that freebie that I'm offering will help you stay on track and prepare yourself for it too. I always think too, when you're ready to make a big change, like before I go teetotal, because I love my wine, I love my whiskey, I love my Suffolk cider. Before I go teetotal, I will start to surround myself on social media and podcasts with people who talk about the benefits of not drinking alcohol. I don't surround myself with the people who say, no, absolutely not. It's poison. It's toxic, because I'm not giving up alcohol for the rest of my life. I'm giving it up for a short period of time. So I just think it's good for us to do it every now and again. And I find it really beneficial when I am surrounding myself with people who are thinking in a like-minded way. Now, there is a lot of confusing evidence out there, and there's a lot of influencers out there, mostly who were before menopause, and it means nothing because they're not where we are. You need to have somebody who has been through it, who walks the walk, talks the talk, and actually can deliver valuable information that works. If you want somebody who literally does have all the qualifications, one of the few people I would recommend that you listen to is Dr. Stacey Sims. She's brilliant. She is menopausal. She's similar age to us. She's in great shape, and she knows the stuff that she's talking about. So where I will not talk about it too scientifically, she really goes underneath the hood. And the other one is Dr. Lisa Mosconi for brain health. She's a neuroscientist. She's amazing. She really knows what it's all about as well. So I would follow both of those because I think they're brilliant. If I could follow just two people out forever for the rest of my life, I would follow both of them. And they know exactly what they're talking about, and they're not afraid of challenging the typical information out there either. So the truth is, for the vast majority of us, we see the entire journey, or we try and look at the entire journey, which is overwhelming. We worry about having the right weights. Do we need weights? Do we use bands? Do we use resistance loops? Do we go to the gym? Do we do it at home? What do I eat? What do I wear? What kind of exercise mat do I need? Just forget all of that. If you don't have weights, you can use things like canned food, you can use paint tins, you can use water bottles, or you can really focus on the mind-muscle connection and really focus on just increasing loads of resistance into your arms. I mean, for me, that feels, I can feel it in my lats, down my back, down my shoulders, my biceps, my triceps, in my neck. I should try and release my neck. Broke my neck years ago, so I have to be very careful about not making it clink up. But there is so much that you can do if you did this and you're really putting your resistance into it. I mean, that feels like I'm lifting 30-pound weights in my arms. And of course, I'm not. I've just got my hands free. So there is a huge amount that we can do without any weights at all. Body weight exercises are really effective. The push-up, as much as I hate it, it's probably one of the most effective ones because it's pretty much using the entire body to do a proper push-up. Pull-ups, I hate those even more. Tricep dips, I love those. But again, they're a body weight exercise. So there's lots that you can do without actually having to rely on weights at all. If you do have dumbbells, what I use, and the reason I'll share this is because a lot of people ask me, I've got a set of 2 kilograms, so not 2 pounds, they're 2 kilogram dumbbells. I've got 4 kilograms, 6 kilograms, 8 kilograms, 10 kilograms, and 12.5 kilogram dumbbells. And then I've got a 16 kilogram kettlebell. I also have, which is dead easy, a set of resistance bands and loops. So the loops are like the smaller, thicker bands that go around your thighs. So if you really want to sort of work out your booty muscles and your leg muscles, they're really effective for that. You can also use them to hold on your arm and do sort of tricep curls and even biceps and things like that. But the resistance bands are the long, thin bands, and you can buy a set of those off Amazon for probably 12 or 15 pounds, and they come in different weights. So I bought a set, and it's a full extension. For instance, if I'm treading on the band and I'm doing bicep curls, the full extension for the heaviest I think is 60 pounds, and there's 2.2 pounds for a kilogram, so it's around about sort of 27 ish. No, it's less than that. But anyway, I'm not very good at maths, but you can work it out. But the sets of resistance band loops that you can get off Amazon are brilliant as well. So they're fabulous if you're traveling. Do not think that you have to invest in a load of dumbbells. And remember, you can use mind muscle connection and just focus on really great resistance when you're doing your moves. Slow it right down, and you'll also get really good results that way. Don't wait for Monday, just start whenever you feel like you want to start. No matter what time of day it is, no matter what day of the week it is, just start. If you like working out in the morning, it might help you to lay out your workout clothes the night before and also know which workout you're going to be doing. I tend not to look at the workout I'm going to be doing the next day. I do follow programs. I stream my workouts digitally, and I know if it's a workout that I don't particularly like, I might be thinking I don't really like it overnight. So I just suck it and see what shows up on that morning. And it's a really effective way of doing it because you want to follow a proper plan. I do recommend you follow some kind of workout program because then you're not at the risk of overworking certain muscle groups. You know, one day you might do upper body, the next day you might do lower body, the day after that might be a low impact cardio day, and then again the next day after that might be a total body workout, and the day after that might be sort of front and back. You know, just make sure that you're not overworking the same part of the body on consecutive days, because that's when you risk injury. Your rest days are incredibly important. That's when your muscles actually rebuild. That brings me on to your food. Protein is really important. If you're going to be starting a strength training program, you're going to need to focus on eating more protein than you probably are doing right now. Our ability to synthesize protein significantly drops off as we go through menopause. So what you want to be aiming to do is eat as much protein as per your ideal body weight. So for instance, if your ideal body weight is 140 pounds, you want to be aiming to eat around about 130 to 140 grams of protein daily. Now, go for a wide range of protein if you can, so depending on what you eat and what you don't eat. But for me, I rely on Greek yogurt, linseeds, flax seeds, pretty much the same thing, eggs, whites. I do eat meat and fish, so that will be certainly in the evening. I eat cheese. I have a protein recovery drink after I've done my workout that contains the branched chain amino acids, which are really good at helping your body recover more effectively. But even with all that, I still struggle to eat my ideal amount of protein a day. You have to work harder. Oh, cottage cheese, I eat quite a lot of as well. Nutritional yeast, I scatter on as much stuff as I can. That's an extra little protein addition. Try not to worry too much about eating like a huge amount of protein in one sitting. Aim for protein in as many times through the day as you can. A wide range of protein if you can. And don't be afraid of supplements. If you do take a protein recovery drink, just make sure it's not got artificial sweeteners in it. A lot of them have. You don't want artificial sweeteners. They bugger up your gut health. A lot of the protein recovery shake manufacturers will say on their front page, no artificial sweeteners. And then go and have a look at the ingredients, and a lot of them have sucralose in it. That's an artificial sweetener. I don't know how they're allowed to get away with it. I did so much research a while back, and I did find a really good protein drink, and I can't quite remember the name of it yet. I've not bought it yet because I'm still using my old supply, which I love. That's 24 grams of protein per serving. So do your due diligence, track what works for your body. The freebie that I'm offering will enable you to track all sorts of different things. And so I really recommend that you download that before you embark on your strength training program or your new strength training lifestyle, because it will help you make a note of the things that you're taking, how you're feeling, how you're looking, what your concept of your body is. And then you can really start to think, okay, yeah, well, actually, this is improving significantly. As far as duration goes, again, it's just like, how long is a piece of string? I have access to some 5-minute workouts, and they are super intensive. And if 5 minutes is all you have access to, do it. Just do 5 minutes. The one I did today was just over an hour because I did a strength training workout program combined with a steady state cardio afterwards. And I wanted to give it some welly. But there were longer breaks in between the moves. And I've also done some 20-minute workout programs, and they are intense. Probably more intense than the stuff I did today because it moves along faster. So duration of workout program, you'll hear people say, oh, you need to do at least 45 minutes. I disagree with that. Do what you have access to do. Anything is better than nothing. And I also disagree with the fact that you won't get great results if you don't do 45 minutes of workout. You can get amazing results with just a few minutes of workouts. Just make sure it's really intentional, that you're working really hard, and make the most of it while you're doing it. You may have sore joints right now and you're thinking, oh, I don't know, what if they're inflamed and what if I make it worse? So when I stopped doing my workouts for 6 weeks, I noticed I've had a hip injury for about 18 months now. It's gradually getting better. It's taking ages and ages. I think actually I probably damaged the cartilage. I was stamping on kindling and I'd been lifting some really heavy stuff. And there was one day when I stamped on kindling that was particularly hard and it was just like agony. So what I did to my hip, I don't know. I never bothered getting it scanned. It's getting a lot better now, but it's taken ages and ages and ages to heal. Sometimes things like hips do. The good thing is that it is healing. Now, during this 6 week period, I've noticed my knuckles in my hands, my joints were getting sore. They were just getting inflamed. And I was thinking, oh my God, I hope I'm not like starting rheumatoid arthritis or something. My grandmother had it very badly. Her joints were literally just so badly affected. Rheumatoid arthritis is actually an autoimmune disease. And when you're under a long period of stress, you're more susceptible to developing autoimmune disease. Well, the last 18 months to 2 years for me have been very, very, very stressful. And I was thinking, oh my God, what if I'm developing an autoimmune disease? That's one of my biggest fears, is to develop something like that. And so I was careful with the weights. When I was holding my weights, I was not squeezing them really hard. But I have to say, since I've been doing my workouts, joints feel great. My shoulders were getting stiff because I wasn't using them effectively. Yeah, I was sat on the computer like stressed and tensed. Shoulders feel brilliant. Hip feels excellent. My knees, I've always had gammy knees. Even since as a child, I've got dodgy knees. They were getting right over the front of my kneecaps because your quadriceps actually they form a tendon and they go through the kneecap. They go through behind the kneecap. And I was thinking, oh, and my knees are really sore. Again, after doing the workout, they've got so much better. If you've got these aches and pains, by working out and making sure you have to keep good form. So if you're following a program, listen to what they're doing. Make sure, maybe put a mirror in front of where you're working out so you can check your form. So you're not hunching your back, you're not hunching your shoulders, that you're standing really strong, that you're engaging your core. And that way you're not going to damage yourself. And if something does hurt, just take it easy. You may need to modify a few moves. But if you're holding off because you've got aching joints, I would say that is all the more reason to start to strength train, because it doesn't have to be high impact stuff. I think a lot of people think, oh, I've got to do high impact cardio. I hate it. I hate it too. You shouldn't be doing that sort of thing through menopause and beyond, because it creates too much cortisol in your body, which then contributes to belly fat. So take it easy. It doesn't matter how long it is. Focus on good form. Try not to squeeze weights really hard. If you're using weights or bands, or loops rather, you're pulling hard on the handles. Be mindful of that. And if you've got sore joints, just know that they are highly likely to improve hugely when you start strength training. Just incidentally on joints, most of our joints are synovial joints, which means they're in like a synovial capsule. When we move with intention, we encourage the creation of that synovial fluid, which then keeps your cartilage safe and nourished. So again, not just keeping your bones strong, not just keeping your muscles strong, it's going to help the health of those joint capsules as well. As far as weighing yourself, I would say don't. I think the scale is a really poor indicator of progress. When you start to build muscle, you likely are going to weigh more because, of course, a pound of fat weighs the same as a pound of muscle. But a pound of fat will probably take up, well, maybe not that space, but, will take up significantly more than a pound of lean muscle, which is a much denser tissue. Measure yourself probably around your waistline and maybe the biggest part of your belly, wherever that might be, maybe over your bum. But as we go through menopause, we tend to lose a lot of our gluteal muscle mass, so our bums get smaller, they get like sort of a little V, and we get this big belly. So I don't think the hip measurement is that effective. I would just really focus on your waist measurement. I do it weekly, I would, and you should see significant difference that way. To begin with, you might take a few weeks before you start to shed fat effectively. That can happen too. Sometimes the body just goes into a bit of shock and is thinking, oh my God, what's happening? And it takes a while for it to think, okay, now's the time I'm going to start to release fat. I have somebody that I work with, and she took a good 6 weeks before she started to release fat. And then once she did, it actually started to go quite fast. Her measurements changed a lot. You're focusing on body recomposition. You're not focusing on getting thin. You want to get rid of the fat, because fat's not good for us, but you want to be building that lean muscle. So measurements, photos, before photos, if you can do them, and then check your after photos once you've completed your program. But don't complete a program and then think, oh, that's it, done. It's not like that. You have to keep going. And that is why I think so many of us hold off starting, because we think, oh, this is for life. But once you get started, you get the endorphins, you feel so much better afterwards. It does take discipline. It does take some element of discipline, but it's one of those things that it sort of feeds its own motivation once you start to notice the changes. So for instance, on the first day you do a workout, you're going to feel so proud of yourself. The next day you might be a bit sore because your muscles are not used to it. That's absolutely fine. Just drink plenty of water, eat your protein, focus on good sleep, and your muscles will eventually get used to you working out more regularly. When I change up my workout programs, I often get sore muscles, but they're not excruciatingly sore. They're just sore because it's a new type of program. It might be a slightly different way of training. So be mindful of the fact you're probably going to have, a slight sense of muscle soreness occasionally. I think that's a really good thing, because it shows that it's breaking down your muscle tissue, which make sure you're taking your rest days so that muscle tissue can then rebuild effectively. So it's a self-fulfilling journey, as it were. Once you start, you're just going to feel so much better. It might take a couple of weeks before you start to feel leaner, and before you start to notice fat coming off. Like I say, it might take 6 weeks, but within a couple of weeks, no matter whether fat's coming off or not, you're going to think around your core, you're going to start to feel more supported. You might even feel like somebody's put a corset or a girdle around you. You just feel like you've got more tone. You feel stronger. You feel like you're holding yourself better. And that's a really lovely feeling. You may even get that after 1 week. But I would say 2 weeks to be realistic. Might be 3 for some people, but more likely it's going to be 1.5 to 2 weeks before you start to get that sense of, oh, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more like snatched. And that's a really nice feeling. There's a few other things you can consider for your skin tones. Of course, when you're building muscle, it's going to be filling out the underneath the skin. So that's going to help your skin tone. But as we get older, the crepey skin, the sort of bumpy skin is more of a problem. Simple things that you can do if you have time to do it. Dry brushing is really effective because it's soft, it's gentle, it sort of helps get rid of the toxins. It also exfoliates at the same time. Any of the dry brushing, I would say maybe do twice a week. Some people do it every single day. If you've got time to do that, great. But I honestly wouldn't worry. I think your skin needs time just to let your skin be as well. So I would look at it as a maximum of twice a week. Micro needling, you can buy your own little micro needle. So many different online stores these days. Cleanliness is very important if you're microneedling. You can, if you can afford to have it done in the salon, go for it. You can microneedle your face, your neck, your chest, but also you can microneedle the sort of more, the parts of your body where you might be starting to notice a bit of crepey skin and dimpling. So the fronts of your thighs, the backs of your thighs, maybe your bum, and sort of this section of your upper arms. Other thing you could consider taking is a collagen supplement. I've just started taking my collagen supplement again. Collagen's, it's a protein molecule. It's really good for your skin, your hair, your nails, your joints, so your bones, your cartilage. I don't think there's too much wrong with taking a collagen supplement. If you want a bit more structure, download the Strength Starter Journal, which is going to be a companion for you on your journey. It will help you see where you're at today, how you're feeling, or before you start. And it's going to, help you track your progress over the next few weeks. And you'll be tracking not just your muscle tone, but how you feel, bowel movements, your sleep quality, your mental health, etc. Because when you start strength training, it has such a positive knock-on effect to other aspects of your life. Start. Don't wait for a Monday, just start. Surround yourself with people who are going to encourage you to keep up with your strength training practice. If you don't have people in your immediate vicinity, find influencers online. Dr. Stacey Sims is brilliant. She knows her stuff and she does not beat around the bush. So she's a great one to listen to some of her podcast interviews. And I will be here cheering you on every step of the way. I know how hard it is to get started. I know how much better you will feel when you do start. And I also know how important it is fundamentally for you to live a healthier latter half. It is so, so key. It's not a big monster. Just take it one day at a time. And I promise you, you will start to feel so much better that the kick that you get from doing it will far outweigh any got to do my workout today feelings. So I hope this has helped. Thank you so much for your company. Let me know below. Do you strength train? Do you struggle to strength train? Do you want any more tips on strength training? It's something that I'm so, so passionate about because it just makes such a huge difference to you, to me, to all of us. So any questions you've got, let me know and I can do a more specific video on that aspect. But for now, thank you for your company and I will see you again next week.